And what I would like to do is just to create a very simple PHP page. And the next thing, we want to convert that into an API. Okay. And then package in JSON, and then we can test the API using one of those tools. Okay. Either Postman or API doc. Okay. I don't think we have time to jQuery. If we do, we can just go straight into jQuery. Okay, to integrate the API. But PHP is rather simple, right? So PHP basically dynamically generates HTML, right? Has any of you worked on any server-side script like dynamic web pages? No. PHP, okay. Not Michael, no. Wait, any? No? Okay. So if this is the first time, let me actually start with this, because I think you all know HTML, so this should make sense, right? So this is a basic HTML page with a header and 3 paragraphs, right? So I can do the same thing with PHP, okay? So even though it's kind of unnecessary, but I just wanted to connect this with PHP. So in PHP, very simple. So again, PHP, except for this part, everything else looks like just HTML. Okay, until you start with this bracket question mark PHP. Okay, that starts a PHP block, and then when you want to end that PHP block, so this is the starting point, and then this is the end, okay, of PHP. And then PHP code is always in between, okay? And then when you want to output something, when you want to generate HTML or any data, can be JSON too, but let's say it's just about HTML for now, okay? You want to use echo. Echo is like print, output. And then, of course, it's a string, so quote unquote, and then, again, this should be something, right, you understand, like P tag, right, just to output a paragraph. And then, the other 2 paragraphs, I do it slightly differently, because I also want to show you, like, how you create variables in PHP. Like, okay, I can assign these 2 paragraphs. So second paragraph to $P2. Now in PHP, you do have to use $sign for a variable. Okay. So $P2 now has a content for paragraph, second paragraph. And then $P3 has third paragraph but without the P. And so I'm going to show you something slightly different here. So echo P2, right, will echo the entire thing here, right? P, and then second paragraph /P. And then echo, quote unquote, first you have P and then /P, and then put $P3 inside. So again, $P3 is third paragraph, and you put third paragraph inside a P, you create another paragraph in there, okay, with the P element, okay? So, and of course, you can also use array. I don't think at this point we need to go into that, but let's just use this example, okay? And it's something we can try right now just to make sense of it, okay? So what I would like to do is that you can follow me to do this very simple setup, even if you're on Windows. Okay, the terminal on VS Code should work. So let's go there. Okay, so let me make it bigger. So let's see. Doesn't matter where you are. So once you're in VS Code, just go to terminal. Okay, so just go to terminal. Okay, or you can use Control and then backward. Okay, the key above the key above your tab under your escape. Anyway, but you can go to view and then terminal. Okay, so again, make sure you have terminal. On Mac, if you want to use the terminal tool, that should work too. Okay, now I want to SSH space and then your Drexel ID. Mine is WK77. Okay, yours should be, I don't know. Okay, you know. And again, let me still make it bigger. And then it should be, I believe, tuxcs.drexel.edu. Okay, SSH space your Drexel ID without the entire email, just the account ID for your Drexel at tux.cs.drexel.edu. Hit enter. And the first time it may ask you to store your fingerprint. Okay, to accept, say yes to it. Okay. And then okay, so looks like everyone is there. Is it? Any problem? So you can either use this terminal tool from VS Code or terminal app on Mac or the basic command line. That will probably work as well on Windows. Okay, but either way, SSH to it, and then once you are there, pwd to make sure where you are. It should be your own home directory. For myself, I do want to so ls space -l, and so because I already have the file, let me take a moment to remove it. Okay, because I want to assume you have nothing, and so let me do something really aggressive. Okay, don't try this. Because I know there's nothing important in there, so I'm going to just remove it. Okay, so but assume you have nothing, and so the first thing you are going to do, follow me here, is to make a new directory, mkdir, under your home directory called public_html. Okay, so mkdir public_html. Hit enter. Okay, and of course if you ls-l, you should be able to see that directory. Okay, follow this exact name. Okay, don't miss anything. Underscore, including the underscore, and all lowercase. Okay, so once you have the file, use the next command is change mode 755 public HTML. Okay. Change mode. And let me explain if you are not familiar with this notion. And I'm going to stay here because that gives me the writing tool to show you. Okay. So change mode, and I'm going to ls again just to show you the difference. Hopefully, I will be able to see both side by side. Okay. So let me. Okay. So you see this is public_html, right? Have you ever paid attention to any of these? So this is file permission. Okay. On this applies to Linux or Mac. Okay. It's Mac is essentially also a port of BSD or Linux system. And so D means directory. So it is a directory or folder, right? So RWX, can you guess what they are? Yeah, and then X for execute. Okay, so you can run it. Basically, if it's script, you can run it. Okay, and so if you look at, and there are three pairs. Okay, RWX, RWX, and some of them missing W, and there's a reason for it. Okay, so but let's look at three at a time. Okay, like RWX, and these are binary numbers, so they are either 0, can be all 0 values, and can be all 0 between 0 and 1. So they are binary values, and so this one, right? So if I want to turn on read, okay, I want to make this 2 to 1, right? And then if I don't need write, let's say I would need write, okay? If I need everything, read, write, and execute, 1, 1, 1, right? This converts to the this binary converts to the decimal of 7, okay? Because this is 4, 2, 1, right? Now, if you want just, again, RWX, okay? And if you want 1 for read, but you don't want to give people write permission, but you want to allow them to execute 101, what do you think this value is? 5? Yeah. So this is 5. Okay? And this is exactly what we give just now by change mode. 7, 7, 5. Okay? So 7 is for the first set of RWX. This is for the owner. Okay? So for you, if you are the, so here I'm the owner. Okay, WK77 is the owner. CCI is the group. Okay, so I give us, or 755. Did I give 755, right? Not 775. Okay, so 755. I'm giving myself 4 read, write, execute permissions. And then 5, this is for the group. Okay, for group. And so I should not use O, I think, because O is usually for others. Is this for you or what? I don't remember, okay? But anyway, the first digit is for yourself, okay? For the owner. And then the second digit is for the group. And in this case, it's like all CCI users, okay? And then the third is for all others. Probably I should use O. I don't remember the exact notation for this one. But the third value is for everyone else on the system. And that includes the process owner of the Apache server. You want to allow Apache server to be able to execute, to run these files, because that is the web server. Okay? So in this way, you give that web server access to your file, and so your file will become available on the web. Make sense? Okay. I have no idea. So, okay, let's go the other route, okay? I don't think you're comfortable with this. So, let's go to VS Code, okay? And in VS Code, if you want, simply just open a new, create a new project or new folder. Any new folder should be fine. Even the folder, let's see. Yeah, create a new project, I would say. Let's give it a try. Or new folder. I'm thinking where I should put this. So, I think potentially on your existing project, you can do that. Or let's just create a new folder, okay? Completely empty folder. So, keep things separate. Okay, so I usually put everything under Git, so, but that's okay. Or you want to put it anywhere, that's fine. And I'm going to make this folder my tux folder. Okay, let's just make it tux. Okay, so you know where this tux folder is. Go back to your VS Code, and let's just open or add that folder to our workspace. Okay. That will make things easier. So, Git and then tux, add that file, add that folder. Okay, so this is an empty folder. Now we do have to go to extension and install one extension. Okay, so go to extension in VS Code and then search for SFTP. Okay. So the first option was rather popular, but I think it's outdated. Okay. The second option should be the one that you can install. Okay. So, not TZ skunk. Okay, so SFTP. So again, we just talk about protocol, right? SFTP is for the file transfer protocol, and we can develop code in VS Code and then use this extension to send our file to the server. Okay, so so that is the idea. So install this extension, and I think we need to go back to Tux and do some configuration. Let's see. Let me see if I can. Give me a second, because SFTP. Oh yeah, okay. Right, okay. So now you want to press Shift. On Mac is Shift Command P. Okay. On Windows, is it Control? I'm not sure. Control. Yeah, Shift Control P. Okay, P as print. Okay, so Shift Command P on Mac, Shift Control P on. That is kind of your. It's for you to bring us some of the shortcuts, and just type SFTP in it, and you will find this SFTP config. Okay, click on it. And then we want that to go to the Tux. Okay, I should have just selected Tux first, but anyway, it asks you where do you want this config to go. Okay, make sure you select Tux. Okay, and that's where this initial configuration file goes. Okay, so again, if you don't use it, it's also okay to create this manually. So again, under Tux, which is our folder, you have dot, a small dot, and then VS Code, and then under this .VS Code, you have a configuration file called sftp.json. Okay, and this is a configuration file, and so the name in it doesn't matter. Okay, you can just call it Tux. The host is very important. It has to be correct. So it's tux.cs.drexel.edu. Okay, so this has to be correct. SFTP, this is correct. Port 22, correct. Okay, and then this is your Drexel username, right? Now the remote path, this is let's see, I think I will make it public underscore HTML, okay, without the slash. I believe this will work. Okay, and then you can keep the other options default. That should be fine. Okay, make sure you have the correct host name and your username, and then remote path. Because when we upload, we want everything to upload into the public underscore HTML folder. Okay. So with this in place, if this is done, okay, we can go ahead to create a file just to test it. Okay, so that's under TUX. You can right click and to create a new file. Okay, and I'm going to call this index.html. Just call it index.html. And you are all experts on HTML, right? So feel free to create anything in the HTML. Okay, so HTML head, right? Title, and probably I should have meta, right? Character set UTF-8, right? Title, my test page on Tux, and then of course I need a body. Welcome to my first page on Tux server. Okay, so create this page, make sure you save it. Oh, by the way, just now when you create a JSON file, make sure you save it. Okay. Of course, I think you have been working with VS Code, so I suppose you are all familiar. Because sometimes I do find that when students just forget to save the file, like nothing is working. So make sure you save. And then once you save, and if your configuration is working, we can right-click. Okay. And if your extension is working and your configuration file works, you should see this. Okay, upload file. Okay, so select on it, and then first time it's going to ask for the same password. Okay, to log into Tux. So enter your password. Hopefully, if it's correct. And what you will see is at the bottom here, okay, if it says 0, it looks like you are good. Okay, and let's see, so no problem. And then there's also at SFTP, right? When you click on the SFTP, if you see this especially, that means it has been uploaded. Okay, and obviously for me I want to double check. Okay, so just to make sure it goes to the right folder. So if I again on the terminal which is connected to the server, okay, and let me make it bigger. You don't have to check, but I'm checking just as your instructor to make sure I don't mess up with anything. Okay, so it looks like this is it's there. Okay, but let's see if we can access it, because there may be still one issue we have to fix. So let's go to the website. So open your browser and yeah, what does it say?
It's filter of the file.
Filter?
Field of permission denied.
Yeah, permission. Yeah, I expected that, but let me show you, okay? So yes, forbidden, right? You do not have permission to access this resource, which is what I expected. What you need to do right now is similar to what we have done earlier. Okay, go back to this SSH right here, right? So again, when you see this, let's again take a look at this, what we see here. Let me maximize it and then make this bigger, hopefully. And I'm going to move this up. Do you remember the permission?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it looks like we still need to give permission, otherwise the web server does not have permission to access, and that's the issue. So again, the same thing, 755. So change mode, space 755, and then space index.html. Hit enter. And once this is done, you can go back to your browser, refresh, reload the page, hopefully. Does it work?
That's cool.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me go back to mine, refresh, and it's indeed showing that page. And let me stay on the terminal just for you to reference it. And looks like we are already over time, so fortunately we still completed part of it. Okay, not yet to PHP, and so I guess we'll continue next week to the PHP portion.